Alright, here's a thought. Have you ever felt like the more you learn, the more confusing life becomes? Like just when you think you've got it all figured out, something new comes along and flips the script. But if I told you that not knowing might actually be your biggest superpower? Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me, because today we're going to explore why the real wisdom might just lie in embracing the fact that we know nothing. Trust me, this is a mindset shift that will change how you see everything.
You're watching Horizon.
Isn't it wild how the more we learn, the less we actually feel like we know? Think about it. It's like opening a tiny door, expecting a room, and then finding out there's an entire universe behind it. That's the knowledge paradox. Every time we think we've figured something out, it leads to 1,000 more questions. And the deeper we dive, the more we realize just how small our piece of the puzzle really is. Let's take a quick look at science. We have made insane breakthroughs. We have split the atom, decoded DNA, even sent robots to Mars. But with every discovery, new mysteries pop up. Like we can send messages across the globe in an instant. But we still don't fully understand the human brain or why we dream at night. Don't even get me started on the universe. We know so much about galaxies far, far away, but we still haven't explored the deepest parts of our own oceans. It's mind-blowing. Here's the thing. This paradox isn't new. Way back in ancient Greece, Socrates had this nailed down. He was considered one of the wisest people of his time. Yet he is famous for saying, "I know that I know nothing." That's deep, right? Socrates understood something that a lot of people struggle with today. That true wisdom comes from admitting how little we really know. Instead of walking around acting like he had all the answers, he spent his life asking questions because he knew that's where the real learning happens. Now, here's where it gets personal. Have you ever started learning something new and halfway through realized it's way more complicated than you thought? Like picking up a new hobby or diving into a topic that seems simple on the surface, only to realize you are barely scratching it. It's that moment when you go from feeling confident to suddenly overwhelmed by how much you still have to learn. And this is also the moment where the magic happens. When you hit that point where you realize how much more there is out there, it can either make you feel small or make you hungry for more. The secret? Embrace it. That feeling isn't a failure. It's a gateway. When you admit you don't know everything, you can open yourself up to infinite possibilities, to grow, to explore, to understand the world in ways you never thought possible. It's easy to get caught up in trying to know it all. We live in a world that rewards certainty. But if we look closely, the real power comes from being curious and open-minded. It's like climbing a mountain. Reaching the top isn't the point. It's the journey that matters. Each new thing you learn is just the beginning of something bigger. We've all met people who are just so confident they have all the answers, but they are basically impossible to talk to. You know the type. They've already made up their mind about everything, and any new information just bounces right off. That's the danger of certainty. When we are too confident in what we think we know, we end up shutting out new ideas, resisting change, and in some cases, even causing conflict. Here's the thing. Certainty feels safe. It's comforting to think we have got the world figured out, right? But when we are too certain, we start to build walls. We lock ourselves in a box where we only see what we already believe. Research even backs this up. Studies show that overconfidence is what we know can create something called confirmation biases, where we only seek out information that reinforces what we already believe. A study published in Nature Human Behavior found that people tend to ignore evidence that contradicts their beliefs, even when it's scientifically valid. Psychologists have also found that being too sure of ourselves can limit our ability to adapt. People who are open to changing their beliefs in the face of new evidence tend to be more creative and resilient, according to research from Stanford University. Ultimately, certainty is like a cozy blanket. It feels safe, but it keeps us stuck. The real power comes when we admit we don't know everything. Let's take a moment to reflect on something truly profound. Life isn't about having all the answers. It's about navigating the beautiful, chaotic journey filled with questions that push us to explore, learn, and grow. Picture this. Every time we think we've cracked the code on something, like the origin of the universe or the meaning of life, we are met with a cascade of new inquiries. Where did the universe come from? If the universe had a beginning, what came before that? And if we talk about God, where does that concept originate? These questions are like ripples in a pond, expanding outward and reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge is an infinite loop, not a straight line. It's in this exploration that we find richness, depth, and connection to something much larger than ourselves. Here's the kicker. Embracing this uncertainty brings a unique sense of peace with it. When we accept that we cannot know everything, we release ourselves from the suffocating pressure to have all the right answers. Instead of feeling lost, we become curious adventurers, eager to dive into the unknown. This mindset invites us to savor the journey itself. The joy of asking questions, engaging in meaningful conversations, and discovering new perspectives along the way. Think about how much more vibrant life becomes when we allow ourselves to explore rather than confine our understanding to neatly packaged answers. So let's celebrate the beauty of uncertainty, revel in our shared quest for understanding, and remind ourselves that it's the journey, not the destination, that holds the true value. See you in the next video.